Welcome to Working On It. I'm Dr. A and I'm a clinical psychologist aiming to make your life just a bit more manageable. Remember, the tools and the tidbits that you pick up on this channel are purely educational. They can't replace therapy, but with some practice, they can help you along in your daily life. So let's get started. Today, we will be talking about our story and how to change it. What do I mean by that? Well, we call it a narrative. There is this story in our mind to ourselves and to other people that we tell about ourselves. And it is from a very, very specific lens of how we see ourselves. And so whatever happens in our life is going to be seen through that lens. I hope this is making sense. But if you see yourself, let's say, as no good, as nothing ever good happens to me, and all the bad things just kind of fall on my lap and all these horrible things happen to me and I'm a victim, then regardless of what happens in your life, everything will still file into that story. Because I've told you in a previous video, we would rather be right than be happy, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the evidence that doesn't fit the story of all these bad things always happen to me, I'm always a victim. We're going to ignore any evidence toward that and pick up any evidence that might look like that you were wronged or you are the victim. Right? And so even if something happy happens to you or you have an accomplishment, you're probably going to brush that away as a fluke or as a one-off or, well, that only happened because I got lucky, or you're going to ignore it altogether. You see what I mean? If your story, let's say, is one of a champion, one of a fighter, one of a victor, one of that when you work hard, you get what you want, then you will see everything through that lens too. But isn't that a better lens to look through, right? You will portray yourself that way to other people. You will carry yourself as such in your life. And like I said, fake it till you make it is a real thing. So whether you're faking it or you really, really believe that story, guess what? Other people will believe it too. A self-fulfilling prophecy doesn't only work for the negative things, but it works for the positive things too. So if your story is one of despair and darkness and loss and victimhood, then guess what? Not only will you ignore evidence for the others, but it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will start to act in a way and act in line with somebody who bad things happen to them and they're just unlucky and they're no good and they're a victim. You are going to act that way. Rather be right than be happy, right? And if you feel like I can do anything I put my mind to, I don't know this, I'll figure it out. This horrible thing happened to me, brush myself off, give myself a few days, brush myself off and keep going. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy too. Because when something challenging comes your way, you don't just lie down and say, no, I can't possibly do it. Somebody else could, but no. When you see yourself and your story is one of a champion narrative, then you will fight and you will say, I'll figure it out, and you will come out most likely on top. And if you don't come out on top, you say, that's okay. I learned something about it anyway, right? So for example, I wasn't born here. I'm an immigrant, right? And I came here when I was really little. And the truth is that I have had to work harder and fight for things more and everything to be on an equal playing field with people, right? But if I saw myself as a victim of that, and nothing is fair, and I don't know the language, and I've had to work harder, and my parents, don't have the means to get me the same things as my peers, then I wouldn't even go and try to be a doctor. Why? I'm not in an equal playing field with anybody. This is not fair, right? But in what I did is change my story from one of hardship and despair to one of a fighter, right? One that, yeah, all these things happen to me and look where I am. All these things happen to me and I will have the same goal as these other people. Why not? Not only will I have the same goal, I will thrive. And because I told myself that over and over and over again, guess what? I acted in accordance with that. And I got to the places in my life because it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I saw myself that way, I acted that way, and other people saw me that way too. Right? So I want you to think about your narrative. When somebody asks about you or asks for an update on your life, or when you think about yourself in your head, what is the narrative, the book that you're reading? What is the story that you're telling yourself and other people? Is it one of a victim or is it one of a victor? Which story is it? And I want you to understand that you can choose to edit that story, to rewrite the story, to see yourself in a different light at any point. You get to choose that. I can't come in there and do that for you. Your family can't, your friends can't. If you're saying this is who I am, guess what? People are going to believe you, especially when you're acting that way, right? But if you tell yourself a different way, a different perspective on the same things that happen to you in life, then you are going to move forward in a different way. People are going to receive you in a different way, and that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy in the good direction. It's so doable. I know it's abstract what we're talking about, but it's very, very important because nobody's not telling any story. We're either telling a story of a champion or a story of somebody that always, kind of like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, right? Which story do you want it to be? You have decided up until this point. You get to decide something different if you would like. So think about what that story is. Find 2 or 3 places where you would like to make some edits and think about how you would like to go about changing that. Or if you've been even seeing it accurately, probably not, right? You can change the perception of that. Give it a try. Comment down below if you are struggling with it and you want my help with it. If you have questions about what a narrative means and more questions about how to change that narrative, I'll be here for you. Always you could comment. I see the comments and I will try to comment back as soon as I see it. So if anybody needs some guidance, I'm here for you to do that. But again, I want to empower you to tell the exact story that you want to tell and for that story to be one of a champion. You could do it. Until then, I post videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I will see you guys next time. Again, look at the last few videos we've had. I'll keep coming up with new topics for you guys. You got this. Rewrite your story if need be. Keep the parts that you love. See you next time.